all day. How fast is it really going to go if you have to keep wiping this thing off? But they say it's for speed. And they also say it's to monitor their information. When I was in high school, they gave us ID cards and they'll carry around in your wallet. Now at the same school I go to, the kids are forced to wear the ID cards around their neck. But back in those days, you could put it in your wallet and your purse if you were a lady. But my question is the thumbprint scanner any faster than scanning an ID card? You just take the little kind of like grocery store checkout thing and you just scan the card. But they're saying, it's for the kids, it's all great, it's all gravy. But it just goes more into this biometric database that Big Brother wants you in, whether it's using your thumbprint to unlock a phone, whether you're going to a lunch line, or palm prints to access Bitcoin machines. And please understand, I'm not knocking Bitcoins. It's just when I first saw these Bitcoin machines and I noticed you had to put your palm print on it, I'm like, well, Bitcoin is supposed to be anonymous. Isn't that the whole point? But now you have to surrender your biometric data to access these things. Once again, that's not anti-Bitcoin. I just don't like the way their ATM Bitcoin machines operate. But we'll end on a school note here. Vermont school bans brownies. The kids here like kale, and that's fine. I'm sure the kids do like kale, but don't tell them they can't eat brownies. Brownies and other chocolate treats are now officially banned by the state. Vermont Watchdog reports the state is now pushing fruit kebabs, kale, and gluten-free paleo lemon bars as school treats. The ban comes in an attempt to comply with new federal school lunch and snack regulations championed by First Lady Michelle Obama. And I'm sure Mrs. Obama is very proud of herself. Mrs. Obama, who has a private gardener and a private chef. Most people don't have those luxuries. And I get that you want to stop the childhood obesity epidemic, because I went to I believe my cousin was in 8th grade at the time. They had some type of talent show, and I was just, shocked at how, large the kids were. And I don't mean that to, down, people who were larger. They just looked very unhealthy. And, I was concerned about this. But it's not, I don't think it's so much an issue of what they're eating. I think it's the sedentary lifestyle. Because I tell you, when I was in high school, myself and many of the other guys, we played sports and all that. We ate whatever we want as much as we wanted. We went out to the pizza buffet during lunch, our senior year, and we'd try to see who could eat the most. But we'd all burn it off because we worked out twice a day. So we were eating whatever we wanted. We just burned it all off. And I'm not saying you should do that, but that's how we did it back in the day. So you got Michelle Obama, Nanny Bloomberg telling you he doesn't want you to have large sodas. He doesn't want you to have aspirin. He doesn't want you to have a firearm, even though he has several armed bodyguards. Yeah, this is what they want, and don't give it to them. We've seen entire montages, people going on YouTube. Students even shot a music video decrying the practices of one Michelle Obama, saying the kids, they're hungry. They don't have enough money. They don't have enough food in their system to go out and play those sports. They're running on empty by the time track practice comes because, they got a celery stick and a pack of saltine crackers. That's not enough to get the job done, but nobody really cares. They have their own personal agendas. So it's about the students, but it's not really about the students, because we saw the place where they had the cameras inside the trash cans monitoring what the kids were throwing away, trying to count calories and so forth. It's completely ridiculous, and this is another reason why you may consider getting your children out of school such as this and maybe try some other type of alternative. Well, that's it for this segment of the InfoWars Nightly News, but stay tuned. We'll have a special report from Leanne McAdoo with a very special piece of Kent State memorabilia, if you can even call it that. Stay tuned. This is the InfoWars Nightly News.
I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. I believe our research is conclusive. This is the best iodine out there. And I know this for a fact. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox Special at InfoWarsLife.com.
City of Austin tap water versus filtered City of Austin tap water.
I can taste dirt in it.
God knows what's in this.
This has an aftertaste.
Tastes like Austin water? Yeah, it does. Ugh.
These people just sampled City of Austin tap water straight from the faucet. Next, we had them try a sample of tap water filtered through the ProPure G2.0 filtration system.
High quality H2O.
That one is better.
Tastes like nothing.
Yep, I know what good water tastes like. It's good water.
Most tap water contains added substances like fluoride, chlorine, Monsanto's deadly pesticide, glyphosate, and many others. Studies prove that these substances are linked to an assortment of major health issues, including tooth decay, lowered IQ, and even cancer.
It tastes like you're drinking out of the lake when you're drinking tap water.
It has that processed flavor to it.
The Pro Pure G2.0 filtration system removes these deadly substances and many more, leaving only fresh-tasting, deliciously clean water.
Okay, this is very tasty.
It's good water. Refreshing.
It's good.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com today. Use promo code WATER and save 10% off your Pro Pure purchase. Again, that's InfoWarsStore.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
Urban Outfitters has been forced to apologize for what some are calling an exploration in tastelessness. The retailer attempted to sell a vintage Kent State University sweater complete with tattered edges and red blood-like stains, offering a loose, slouchy fit for those who wish to trivialize the loss of life. In 1970, students across the U.S. were protesting Nixon's widening of the Vietnam War into Cambodia. Nixon sent the National Guard to restore order to the Kent State campus. On May 4, 1970, 4 people were killed and 9 wounded when the National Guard opened fire on student protesters, firing 67 rounds over a period of 13 seconds. Witnesses couldn't believe that the guardsmen weren't shooting blanks. Now, many guardsmen later testified that they were in fear for their lives, which was questioned because of the distance between them and the students that were killed or wounded. And Time magazine later concluded that triggers weren't pulled accidentally at Kent State. Now, store officials insist that they never intended to allude to the tragic events of the Kent State massacre, and they promptly removed it from their website to avoid further upset. Urban Outfitters' offensive deal serves as a reminder that protesters are still enemy number 1 to the state. When protesters took to the streets of Ferguson, Missouri last month to protest the shooting of unarmed teen Michael Brown by a police officer, Ferguson PD rolled out the big guns, literally. While protesters held signs and chanted, "Hands up, don't shoot," the PD moved in with MRAPs and fired upon protesters and reporters alike with a barrage of tear gas, rubber bullets, wooden bullets, flashbang grenades, and sound cannons, all in an effort to stifle the First Amendment rights of those who were fed up with an abuse of authority. Tear gas, which is barred from use during war, but apparently it's completely perfect to use on demonstrators here in America. When police fired tear gas on protesters in Oakland, California during the Occupy Wall Street protests, peaceful protester and 2-time Iraq War veteran Scott Olson sustained a skull fracture from a police projectile. And after this cop was filmed discharging pepper spray at a line of seated demonstrators at UC Davis, former officer John Pike won more than $38,000 in a workers' comp case against the school, claiming he suffered anxiety and depression after video outrage. The FBI even planned to assassinate the leaders of the Occupy movement via suppressed sniper rifles. This was according to an FBI document obtained by the Partnership for Civil Justice Fund via FOIA request. Now, although the document is redacted, it clearly shows that the FBI planned to gather intelligence against the leaders of the protest groups, then formulate a plan to kill the leadership via suppressed sniper rifles. Now, news of an FBI plot to murder political activists doesn't come as a surprise to those who are familiar with COINTELPRO. The FBI's COINTELPRO program of the 1960s and 70s aimed to frighten dissidents and disrupt their movements, enabling the FBI and police to eliminate the leaders of mass movements without undermining the image of the United States as a democracy. Now, according to the official narrative, COINTELPRO was terminated in 1971, but that is clearly not the case. For years, the government has been using anti-terror laws to crush dissent. NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden wrote about the NSA's spying programs, saying, "These programs were never about terrorism. They're about economic spying, social control, and diplomatic manipulation. They're about power." Attorney General Eric Holder announced Monday another spying program that he claims is aimed at fostering community and local outreach efforts to combat the message of extremist groups such as ISIS. But we know this isn't about ISIS. Exclusive photographs provided to INFOWARS earlier this month from a local business owner show an FBI PowerPoint presentation placing homegrown groups at the top of the agency's terror watch list.
And as KSLA News 12 Jeff Farrell discovered, the clergy would help the government with potentially their biggest problem, us.
For the clergy, one of the biggest tools that they will have in helping calm the public down or obey the law is the Bible itself, specifically Romans 13.
By conflating political dissidents with terrorism, local, state, and federal law enforcement can pursue activists simply for challenging government policy. And as history shows, the establishment has no problem using violence to subdue opposition.
Well, that's it for this edition of the InfoWars Nightly News. But if